Team, and I'm here with Xiaojing. She is a principal PM with the Customer Service Insights Group, and she is going to be walking us through the CSI overview with the key insights and providing the standalone experience, and then also providing the embedded experience with the Customer Service Hub. Xiaojing?
Thanks, Leslie. Hey everyone, this is Xiaoying, and I'm so glad to take this time to walk you through the more deeper into the customer service insights and also to share with you what's new in this month. So here you see the customer service insights standalone app. You can go there by go to your address bar and input csi.ai.dynamics.com, and you're going to see by default it's loading a sample environment with all the sample data that you can play with. And the goal for this product is to provide supervisors and service managers a better idea and get deeper actionable insights into their case data. And what it does is that it'll pull all the cases from the case entity or any other custom entities from Dynamics or CDS database, and then to run it through the analytics and AI pipeline to generate all of those insights. The first thing that if you want to do in addition to just exploring the sample data is to create your own workspace. And a workspace in the CSI is a concept that connect to your own environment and consists of a set of reports as you can see in the left side map. To do that actually is very straightforward. And on the header, the first icon on the right top is a list of my workspaces. And here you can see I've already created multiple workspace, and each of them will connect to a CRM environment. And to create a workspace, you just click the Create Workspace button and then go to the wizard, and it actually only requires the 2 clicks. One is to choose Dynamics, and then you can choose your customer service environment, and then the pipeline will kick off and provision all the reports for you for that environment. And also here you can see for each of the workspace, we have two type of the view models. One is that if you create a workspace, you're the owner. As you can see here, simply tagged with the owner. And the other is that you can also share the workspace with the others, so other people can share the workspace with you. And for the people who got the workspace shared by the other people, you're the viewer for those workspace. It means that you cannot change anything. You can only see the exact same analytics numbers and charts with the other person. Here you can see I have a coworker share his workspace with me, so the name is tagged here. And to share the workspace is also very straightforward. So just go to click the share button and then input your email address. Like here I can say, I want to share that with Leslie. Oh, let me try that again. Or let me try somebody in my team in this environment. Yeah, because this is a separate demo environment, so not all the Microsoft people are here. Sorry, Leslie. So here you can add another person into the email address and then share that workspace with them. And as an owner, you can also manage all the access or like revoke any access you've already shared the workspace with the other people. So this is very quickly to go through how to set up the workspace. And after that, once it's set up, you're going to see, as you see here, a set of the reports. And comes the first is the new homepage. And this is something that currently in preview. That's why you see the preview tag here. But we're going to GA pretty soon in this week. And what it does is that we heard a lot of customers complain to us that although there are a lot of different products, even for the customer service insights before, we provide a set of very comprehensive analytics Power BI reports to them. But for a lot of customers and supervisors, it's very hard for them to quickly get the idea, like with so many overwhelming information, what kind of things they want to put their focus. So this page is to address that problem and highlight all the key insights that we want or we think will be very important or interesting for the supervisors or service managers to take a quick look. And from this page, they can also, once identify any topics that they're interested, they can drill through to get more details. And speaking of that, Here you see that this page shows the topics that this one in the sample environment, we have 177 topics discovered from all of those cases. And the topic here is a concept in customer service insights that using the natural language understanding AI model to automatically group similar cases together. So here, 177 topics means we find across all the cases here, we can find 177 groups with, for each of the group, they have similar cases. So following by that, this page highlight the topics to watch and come with the top 3 topics that the supervisors or service managers may worth to taking a look first. And the ranking here is actually based on the calculation across different metrics. So here you can see all the influencer for the ranking, including the volume drivers, the negative CSAT impact, and the emerging topic and new cases, etc. So like for the first one, it indicates the first one, why we show that as the first topic that worth watching, because it's the number 6 in the volume driver. Number 18, that means that it has the number 18 negative CSAT impact for the CSAT score. And also it's a number 2 as the emerging topic, means that it's comparing to the volume changes over time. It's actually showing this is something new that actually is going like trending up very quickly. So that's why our like AI pipeline suggests that this is the one that worth taking a look first. And as a user for this report, you can click the link for this topic, which will navigate you to the more details analytics page for this particular topic. In this page, it shows more KPI numbers for this particular topic, talking about the payment issues, and we can find the total numbers and the numbers between the resolution time, escalation, how many of them are compliant regarding to the SLA, the average time, etc. And also it calculates the overall impact for the CSAT and resolve time. And the impact here is calculated to see the contribution for all the cases under this topic regarding to metrics comparing to all the cases like loaded from the data source. So for example, here, the average CSAT impact was positive 0.2%. It means that for all the cases under this topic, talking about the payment issues, they have the positive 0.2% of the impact for the CSAT score in general. It means that it helps the overall average CSAT score to be up by 0.2%. And if it's negative, it means that it actually lowered down the CSAT score. And below that, it provides more breakdown, including to provide the chart to break down and analyze the drivers across the channel and product for CSAT, and also for the resolution time. And from the supervisor service manager perspective, we still calculate for each of the combination of a channel product how much the impact regarding to the CSAT scores or the resolution time. So the service manager and supervisors can use that as a guidance to identify which one they can go deeper and to follow up first, because the top impact means that if the problem, for example, here on the phone channel, and for all the cases from the phone channel, and talking about the product for Contoso kids rain boots, the CSAT actually has very negative impact to the overall average CSAT score. So if the supervisors can solve the problem for this channel, this product first regarding to the CSAT, then the overall CSAT scores will be higher, like much faster or more efficient comparing to the other channels of the product regarding to the CSAT for this problem. And similar to the resolution time driver as well. And also it provides the rankings across the top agents for different metrics, including the agents with most active cases. So the supervisor can see who are those top agents need more help to balance those active cases. And agents with the longest resolve time, it means that those agents may also need help, maybe more training as well, and who can help them. And also the agent with the lowest average CSAT also provide a view for the top regions that need help regarding to improving their CSAT. And this whole dashboard actually also provides the interactive experience because these reports is also like behind the scenes implemented through the Power BI. So all the Power BI default experience also applies here as well. So for example, let's choose maybe um, let's say we want to focus to improve the CSAT for the phone channel and kids rain boots item. We select this one. And here we can see, in addition to the general top rankings across all the cases in this topic, now, because we just select one of them, all the data are filtered based on this item, and we can get deeper insights for different metrics. So for example, here, agents with longest resolve time, we saw although in general, actually CAT didn't do very well and spend most of the time for all the cases, but actually for this channel product, he doesn't have any problem for that. Instead, Tom actually, he's doing better than Cat and the other people here, but actually for this particular one, certainly he needs more help. So we can spend more time to help him regarding to like how to handle the customer inquiries through the phone channel for this particular product. And maybe like in this case, Kat can help Tom to like share the experience and help him to improve. And in addition to these charts for the topic details, it also provides this Sankey chart that shows the journeys across all the cases under this topic. For example, here you can see the proportion between different channels. And certainly from this chart, we can see the phone channels contains most of the cases for this particular topic. It means that customers were like more likely to talk about these payment issues over the phone. And then we can also get a view about for all the cases across multiple channels, how many of them are escalated. It seems the Frontier agent did a good job that most of them are not escalated. And then we can see the proportion between the resolved and active. So let's get back. That's actually one of the example. Oh, by the way, so if for the supervisors and the service managers who want to get better idea about which cases belong to this topic, they can also go to the cases list and to review all of those cases. So we'll get there later. Let's get back to the homepage first, and we'll get back that later. And continue to the new homepage. In addition to the topics to watch, it also provides multiple cards focusing on different perspective and metrics for like different interests from the supervisors or the service managers. So for example, if the supervisors, they would like to learn more and focus more on how to improve the resolution time, the resolve time from the team, we have a card here to highlight which topics that has the most impact for the resolution times. We list the top 3 topics and shows what is the shortest and longest so the people can compare between each of the top topics and also shows the average. And still for each of the topic on the list and on each card, people can go through it by click the link. And if you're not sure how to use the information from the card, we have the icon here, which you can click through and see the explanation why this one is important and what is the recommendation. And also, each of the card is associated with a modules root dashboard in general, and users can also click this icon to open the corresponding dashboard. Like this one for the resolution time, we have a resolution dashboard here to show the general analytics and insights information about focusing on the resolution time so that people can click this link and go to the resolution time dashboard. And the other card is very similar to this one, like the topic impacting CSAT and the peak time to help the this one is to help the supervisors to make the staffing decision. One of the cards here, which is slightly different from the other, is to provide a more direct actionable suggestion for the supervisors or the service team to see how they can improve further about the team's productivity. So here, the only actionable insights suggestion we have today is to ask people to consider automating some of the topics based on the calculation from the analytics data to automate those topics with the chatbot, like the Power Virtual Agent. And in the future, the plan is for the customer service insights we're going to provide using AI and BI to provide more and more this kind of the direct actionable suggestions for supervisors and service managers. So for example, let's take a look. One of them is use the customer promo code so people still can click the link and drill through that and get some idea about like to get all the information about this topic and to review the cases and make the final call. And after that, they can click the automate button because it's a sample dashboard, so all the action is disabled. But let me switch to another one so you can see how it works. So here it's in another workspace I created, although it doesn't contain a lot of data to showcase. But we can click this automate button, which will actually create a topic in the Power Virtual Agent if you're also a Power Virtual Agent user. And what it does is that it will auto-fill the name for this topic and also pick the top 3 most relevant case titles as the trigger phrases where the users can start with and tweak those trigger phrases or add more trigger phrases to compose a topic for automation. And also, as I just mentioned that for the case list, here, once you create your own workspace that connects to your own environment, all of those cases are listed here under the topic is linked back to Dynamics. So here I click one of them, it'll opens the case form in Dynamics. So supervisors can take a further look about the details for each of the case. And in addition to that, you can see for each of the cases, there are some other actions you can take for a topic. Like if the name, so here the name is auto-generated by the AI model after parsing through all of those case titles and identify the keywords from each of the case title and compose that automatically. But if this case title doesn't make topic title doesn't make sense, you can also rename that by simply click the button and change to the name that works better for you. In addition to that, this action actually, from the model perspective, it will take that as a implicit feedback, and the model will consider this new topic to influence the topic clustering next time when the workspace starts refreshing. And the other is that for the case title, speaking of feedback, users can also provide thumbs up, thumbs down feedback for each of the case to tell whether a case should belong to this topic or actually shouldn't belong to this topic. So those feedback will help to improve the model clustering for next time as well. If the case for the supervisor believe that it should belong to another topic, can also move the case to another topic. Okay, cool. So we've spent a lot of time talking about the topics and cases. And also let's quickly go to the other dashboard so you can get a better view. Actually, let me switch to the sample workspace, which contains more interesting data. So for the following dashboard, KPI summary, new cases, customer satisfaction, and resolutions, it follows very similar pattern in the UI and the layout. On the left side is the list of the drivers from the topics generated through the AI model. And for example, here the KPI summary shows 2 type of the drivers list. One is the volume driver, it shows the top 20 topics that impacts the volume, and also the emerging topics, still the top 20 topics that shows a larger volume change. And those topics here, it focus on the new topics that haven't included in the case volume driver list yet. And on the right side, it shows a bunch of the charts and the metrics for people to visualize. And on the top of the report, it also has a consistent list of the filters so people can choose between different time periods. Here today we support last 1 day, 7 days, and 30 days. And then people can also filter between the product, channel, business unit, and sign team. And all of those values are generated based on the data values stored with customers' case data. And again, as all of these dashboards are implemented using Power BI, so it also provides the interactive experience. So for example, if we want to see more details regarding to the first promo code topic, we can click this topic and all the dashboards will be filtered and focused on the cases under this topic. And the new cases here is to help the supervisors who want to understand better about the incoming topics. Um, and let me refresh that again. Interesting. I don't know what's wrong with this chart, but the new cases to showcase the incoming cases. If the supervisors want to focus on the incoming cases and to make some staffing decision based on the incoming traffic. And we found that the most interesting chart on the report is the case timing, which shows the average traffic of the incoming cases by hour. So from the supervisor perspective, you can use this chart to decide across different channels which time, which hour is the peak hour that may need more agent to help. And in addition to that, because of the interactive experience, we can further filter down, like for the promo code, we can select that and it'll show in the chart about the peak hours focusing on this particular topic. So here we can tell, like, for example, here on the web channel, actually 1 p.m. is the peak hour. So it means that for this particular time or this time range, we need more agent with the skills answering the promo code questions at 1 p.m. So here you can see that using this experience, the customer service insights not only provide all of those analytics and also help you to understand more details, what kind of skills that agents need in order to help people at the right time. And for the customer satisfaction, it's using the CSAT score data attribute from the case entity by default. And it does the analytics and show the top drivers on this dashboard regarding to which top 20 topics that has bigger impact to the average CSAT score. And in addition to that, it's still showing the other metrics numbers regarding to the CSAT and breakdown between different channels. Again, users can use this interactive experience to go through and see, like to identify if there's any interesting information from this topic. And the last dashboard is the resolutions. Again, it shows the top 20 topic as the resolution time driver. And so supervisors can use the impact indicator to see which one they would like to focus most, and also using the interactive experience to identify for each of the agent who may need more help for each of the topic. So for example, if we select the first agent here, the topic drivers list will be updated. And we can use this list of the content to compose a personalized training material to coach this agent to do a better job for regard to resolving the cases. And the topics pages simply provide a list of all the topics because the other topic drivers list only shows the top 20, but you can find all the topics generated by the models here and also sorted that by the total cases and go through that for each of the topic. So those are all the dashboards in the in the customer service insights. And in addition to that, there are also multiple settings that you can, as a workspace owner, you can configure to generate better result. And let's take a quick look. So for the settings, we have the data mapping, title cleaning, topic granularity, and you can also export the data. For the data mapping, it's usually used for those customers who are not using the default case entity and the default data attributes that we're using in customer service insights. So let me switch to my own workspace because all the actions are disabled here in sample environment. And here, to do the data mapping, it's also very straightforward. Just click the button and it'll retrieve and list all the entities in the connected environment, and customers can choose any of the entity here, including the custom entities, and then go to the next page to choose the data attribute that map to the original ones. And for example, here, the case title is used by default for the topic clustering. And if you find there's any other fields like the description works better to describe the problem for a case, you can also change the mapping here by selecting the description. And a similar idea for the other ones, you can change those mappings. And then case title cleaning and topic granularity are also the settings that help to influence the topic clustering. For the case title cleaning, we have this option because we found for some of the customers, their case titles are not only talking like or focusing on the brief description of the user problems. Instead, we may say that see the patterns like this. So like they have those tags and sections to capture the other information like whether it's escalated, what is the priority, which tier is handling that, etc. So in this case, because those informations are not really talking about the problem, including those information will actually like decrease the quality for the topic clustering. So in order to solve that problem, it's better to use this option to identify what usually where those sections are, whether it's before the issue like summary core part of the case title, like in this pattern, or whether it's mostly in this pattern, or if you're not sure, you can choose before and after the tags are before and after the issue summary. So the customer service insights will do the smart like intelligence to capture the most important information from the case title. And then to provide the delimiters, like here is the brackets and the pipe here. So we specify those ones. And then the service will know which delimiters to look at in order to extract the right information from the case title. And all of this information, like these changes, won't change the original case title. It's just to tell the model which part to ignore when it's processing all of those case titles for the topic clustering. And another settings for topic is the topic granularity. And here you can see actually we have an example chart using the sample data here to showcase the idea. For the topic granularity, it indicates the scope for a topic. Like for some of the business cases, people want to see the problem at higher level. And some of the cases, people want to see very specific issues under a bigger group. And the topic granularity will provide the 5 levels of the granularity. So based on your needs, you can choose either if you want to see a bigger group, can choose that to be more general, or if you want smaller topics to focus on specific issues, you can choose to be more specific. The middle one is coming by default, and actually for most of the cases, the middle one should be good enough after a lot of experiment from our AI team, but still we provide this flexibility for customers based on their different business needs. And export data is a preview feature today that allows the customers to export the AI generated data from the dash. To do that is also very straightforward. What it does is to click the button to generate a URL, and this URL will point to an updated, like a daily refreshed CSV file, which contains all the information, including the data that the raw data that you're going to see from the dashboard, like the case information and also the topics for each of the case. So to get more information, you certainly can go to the product and click the link to check out our documentation. All right, so we spend a lot of time talking about and walking through the CSI standalone app. And another thing, as Leslie mentioned earlier in this session, is that for April, we also provide the embedded report experience for the customers who are using Customer Service Hub. So for those customers, after we release this feature in the Customer Service Hub, they don't need to go to the standalone experience. They can just simply get the reporting experience from within the CSH that they are using every day. And to do that, it's also very simple. So let's go there. First, it requires a little bit admin setup and to install the customer service insights reports into the customer service hub. And what you need to do as an administrator is go to the customer service hub and click the service management area. And there you're going to find an sitemap entry called settings for analytics insights, which is new with the latest release. And here you can choose between the analytics report, which is another set of the BI analytics, and the insights, which contains all the reports I just showed you from the customer service insights. And to do that, you just simply click the get started, and then it'll open another page to show the progress of the installation.
Xiaojing,
Mhm.
are there any prerequisites for being able to install this? Or is it just
So
a license?
yeah, it's just licensed. That thanks for bringing it up, Leslie. So for the customer service insights, it requires a valid customer service insights license. But for all the customer service enterprise customers, means that who have the license for Dynamics 365 Customer Service Enterprise, the CSI license has already been seeded there. So for all the customer service hub customers, I believe they all have the customer service enterprise license at least. So they're going to they'll be able to use this functionality.
Awesome.
Yep. So here you can see the installation is in progress, and you can safely close this page and come back later from the settings page to look into the installation progress. And to save the time, I don't want to wait here. I have another environment has already set up. Once the installation is done, and you can here, this go to settings button will light up, and it will help you to go back to the settings page where you're going to see this section, the inside section is updated with a couple of links. And the first one will go back to the service area, which I'm going to show later, where you can find the embedded reports. And for now, to share the reports or change any settings, we haven't done that yet in the customer service hub with this preview release. So we provide a link here, which will point you directly to the share model in the customer service inside standalone app. And you can share the reports here, and then the people can again go to the embedded reports. And it's the same for the settings as well. It'll point to the standalone app settings dialog. And once the setting changes, it'll impact the report, embedded report in customer service hub as well. So in general, once the report is created and set up in the customer service hub, for the same user, they are going to see this report this workspace is created in the standalone app as well. It's in sync. And another thing to mention is that the customer service insights today is created per user. So even if after the admin has installed the customer service insights and also with the installation, it automatically creates a workspace for the administrator. The admin still needs to share the workspace with the reports to other people in order for the other folks in the team to look into the reports. Otherwise, for the other people, they still can go to the service area and then to well they're going to see if the reports haven't shared with them, they're going to see an experience with one button on the page to provision their own workspace. And also for the data, so here you can see once it's installed, there's a section for analytics insights, and the report is enabled by the first section in the page. So this is the analytics reporting for this item, and we can take a quick look. And this one contains all the BI analytics, and it shows the summary between the case and agent. And those BI analytics report contains even more, a bunch of the BI analytics charts and KPIs. And then the insights reports are consistent with what I just showed you earlier in the standalone app. So another thing to mention is that speaking of the data, for all the data in the customer service insights, because it's the per user model, so each of the user can create their own workspace without administrator to do the first round setup. And so for each of the user, once they create a workspace, the data they're going to see is based on their security role for the access to the CDS entity. So for example, if user A can see a case record in the entity, can see case A record in the entity, but not case B, then this report for that person will only show the data like analytics generated from the case A, but not case B. And here you can see the corresponding pivots. That's exactly the same with what we just saw in the standalone app. And also there the button for user to share and change the settings or open the standalone. So all of those buttons will open the standalone app in the other web browser to make the like sharing or settings changes. Okay, I think that's all of it. And Leslie, do you have any other questions, or I'll let you to take it over?
Actually, I do have one question.
Uh-huh.
Um, from a traffic standpoint, is there a minimum that you need to have in order to start gathering this data?
For generating the reports, there's no minimum. And in order to generate more useful topics, it still depends on the data, but usually we find if you have more than 500 topics, then it will start generating more useful topics because usually more data, it means that there can be more similar cases that can be grouped into a topic. And also speaking of that, for each of the topic, the definition is that the AI model will group similar cases, and if and the AI will group similar cases into different groups. And for each of the group, if it contains 3 cases or 3 or more cases, then that will be considered as a topic. So for each of a topic, you'll find at least 3 similar cases or more.
And that can start trends, right?
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also related to that limit, although it won't impact, there's no minimum limit, but for the customer service insights, actually there's an up limit. And for now, we only load the data from the case data from the past created within the past 60 days, or like under 1 million as the up limit, whichever hit first. So for example, if you have fewer than 1 million of cases created in the past 60 days, then customer service insights will load all the cases created from the past 60 days. But if you have more than 1 million of the cases created in the past 60 days, then we just only load the first 1 million of the cases.
That's helpful to know. What do
Yeah,
you do with the rest of them? Do you archive those or?
so for the rest of the cases, we don't load that to generate analytics today, but we're still open for the feedback. And actually, we've already heard some customers' feedback regarding to the up limit, and we're looking for the improvement in the future.
Fantastic. Well, Xiaojing, thank you so much for your time and providing this rich information and deep dive. We really appreciate it. If those that are viewing this have any questions, or if there's an area that you would like us to go into a deeper dive, please comment below, and we're happy to come back and revisit a certain area and go into more detail. Xiaojing, do you have anything else?
Nope. So for any of you, if you're interested in trying the customer service insights, please go to aka.ms/CS insights to get more information and get started.
Thank you. And with that, we will be back with more updates when we hit our next release.